team. Oh my god, Shakira. And I'm joined by LD. Thanks for joining me again today. Yeah. Yeah, very surprising to see so few of them. And Shakira is basically the old, it's at least three out of the five of previous MTW, correct? I believe it's the French players, which is funzii, sockshka, as well as effing mad, right?
That's right. No cinder and no kebab, but the three Frenchies, if you want to call them that. I say that with all infection attended, and no offense, but yeah, it's just the French players and going back to their roots, I suppose, because before they were with MTW as Western Wolves, and then before that, all the way back to Shakira. So I suppose in some ways they have come full circle, although not exactly playing with the full roster up against MYM. And this to me is the interesting thing: is this MYM really one of the most respected teams of the scene for a long time, but then just their Dota team after the first international disbanded. They never really had a new one, but Purge, they're back now.
Yep, they are. They've got calculus, quadqua. I don't know how to pronounce that. Balsam, Atsi, and theneno. And a lot of these players I've seen on different teams throughout a lot of time, and most especially calculus. He's been on a lot of teams since the international one. Actually, I think he played in the first one on what team was that? That was like it was Cinderen's team at the time. They were all Danish, I believe, and I can't remember what they were called, but it started with an N. Uh, I can't remember, but
Oh, this is
um,
gonna drive me insane now. I'm looking at the chat, but there's the 2 minute delay, so they're not gonna be able
uh,
to help us out for two
come on,
minutes. Fine.
chat.
Uh,
Uh,
I'll look it up, but we'll keep on moving in the
okay,
meantime. So Windrunner first picked actually. Oh no,
weird.
sorry, second picked. Lashret or wait, am I going
No, that
insane?
was first pick.
First pick Windrunner, very interesting. Yeah, I was getting a little bit confused by the draft because I wasn't paying attention at first. Was actually trying to Google Cinderen's old team, but first pick Windrunner. I mean, I suppose it is a versatile hero, but it really surprises me that Rubik just I feel fits into any role and does it a bit more so than Windrunner, and pretty much counters everything, and also provides you a lot of utility. But hey. They are going to get the Windrunner, an Anti-Mage Queen of Pain, very mobile lineup, and what's good to counter mobility? The GG Cloud certainly fits the bill.
Yeah, have fun blinking for the rest of the game because it's not going to happen. At least, assuming Riki can pick up something like a Diffusal Blade, he can keep either Queen of Pain or Anti-Mage within the cloud. And I just love how fast MYM picked up Riki. They're like, wow, you're going to pick Anti-Mage and Queen of Pain? All right, we'll pick our carry now just to guarantee that we have the best possible counter. And he's even very good against Windrunner as well. If she's also silent, she can't use Windrun. And all those three heroes very, very easily killed by Riki Maru. And the best part is that I don't think Shakira really even wants to devote a tri lane against the Riki to try to shut him down because he does counter their team so much. It's just like, what are they supposed to do? They're going to have to be very, very careful, I think, in the mid game with Sentry Wards because he does hard counter so many of their core heroes.
The thing about their draft that I'm also a little concerned about for Shakira is it pretty much tips the hand for the lanes as well. Windrunner and Queen of Pain, I suppose you can run the Windrunner as a support, but generally these two heroes are going to be played as solos. Queen of Pain normally going mid, Windrunner to the off lane, and then something to set up the anti-mage. Whether it's a jungler and then it's just one support or a tri-lane with a lot of pulling, I mean, I suppose either is possible. Pulling's going to be a little bit harder because they are on the Radiant side, and they banned out most of the junglers themselves, so I
Yeah.
guess we could see a Windrunner dual lane, an Anti-Mage dual lane, and a Queen of Pain solo, but either way, you already have a pretty good idea of what Shakira wants to do with the first phase of the draft, and well, everything MYM's picked really works to counter it.
Yeah, it really does at the moment, especially Rubik. Think how easy it is. He's got two different places to pull Blink from, and as soon as Rubik has Blink, whether he's a support or a solo mid, he becomes extremely dangerous. And even with not very much farm, once you can start Blink telekinesis initiating, and the cooldown on that is so low, I mean, it's effectively giving him a 2,000 gold item. And in some ways, Blink is actually more usable and more useful than having another nuke. So I think Rubik should have a really fun game this game.
I feel like every game is a fun game with Rubik, right? Unless they pick just a team full of auto attack carries, which there aren't many heroes that don't give him fun abilities, but you're right, especially in this game, Shackle Shot is amazing to steal. So is Power Shot, the two blinks. AM ult kind of situational, and both of Queen of Pain's nukes very potent. And I feel like a Rubik who gets a good start, he can really demolish this lineup. So if you run him solo mid, does pretty well against Queen of Pain, does pretty well against Windrunner, even if it's an anti-mage dual lane with, whether it's the Windrunner supporting him or something, maybe like I was going to say Venomancer, but he's banned. I mean, even a Shadow Demon. That's the other thing is they got to be a little bit worried about the Shadow Demon pick coming out from MYM. just because they have the Anti-Mage, and if you pick a Shadow Demon, lane him against the AM, it just really limits his farming ability. And even if they don't lane him against the AM, just in the mid game makes life very difficult for him. That plus Riki with the the Manta style, the Diffusal Blade, and the Cloud is just good luck doing anything in the mid game.
Yeah, no kidding. When you do play Anti-Mage against a Shadow Demon, usually you have to leave your mana break very, very low, because if somebody makes illusions of you, they get that actual passive, so he can get himself drained by his own illusions very easily. And talk about a perfect setup for Riki Cloud as well. You get the disruption, you drop the Smoke Cloud after about 2 seconds, you have a guaranteed silence on top of Anti-Mage, and it should be very easy to score the kill on him at that point. We see an Invoker pick now from the Radiant team, and also an Enchantress from Shakira. So at the very least, Shakira will be able to do some possible ganking with Enchant, and maybe take a fast tier 1 tower, which should give them at least a little gold advantage and help them counteract the Riki a bit.
I'm wondering what MYM is planning to do for the lanes now. I thought it would be a solo Rubik, but with the Riki, Rubik, Leshrac, and now the Invoker, it looks like a solo mid Invoker, and then possibly a support Leshrac Rubik, tri-laning with the Riki, doing a lot of pulling there on the Dire side, so that's a little bit easier. Then you still need an offlane hero, and speaking of offlane heroes, I don't know how this has occurred, but there's a Broodmother in the pool, and I don't really think Shakira have a whole lot to shut it down. I mean, they have heroes that, if you have 2 or more in the lane, you're fine, but as far as 1v1 matchups, there's nobody who can just leave alone in the lane who can deal with the Brood that effectively right now.
Well, they could put the Queen of Pain down there. That would be one option. At least Scream of Pain is fantastic against the spiders, because even if they're invisible, your Scream of Pain will still hit them. But then who's going to lane against the Invoker? And Invoker should be able to outlane most of these other heroes, unless they put Windrunner mid. I mean, they could do something really weird like that, but I expect they will put Anti-Mage in the safe lane anyways, and obviously Anti-Mage is not that fantastic against Brood, at least until he gets a Battle Fury, which is going to be very, very late, obviously. So, last pick is a Disruptor. I almost call him Disruptor. How
I kind of like that.
Disruptor, Anti-Mage, dual lane with an Enchantress jungle, solo Queen of Pain, and solo Windrunner is what we're going to see this game. And most likely will be a Windrunner long lane, but she's going to have a really, really rough time this game, I think.
I don't expect to see her really leaving the tower. If they just keep the creeps pulled back, you actually don't really need to push the lane at all early on, and it works to your detriment, I think, if you push it too early. Just keep the creep Equilibrium at your tower. Shadow Demon is the final pick.
Nice.
So maybe we're going to see an Exhort Invoker. Look at the setup on this team. Telekinesis and Disruption, both of those great for setting up the Cloud, like you were talking about. Also going to be great if you go for Sunstrike, as well as setting up the Leshrac stun. I mean, this team, the burst damage is very strong for MYM.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for Shakira, I feel they don't really want to fight too much early. They have a couple of good lane controls, but mostly they're just going to want to get the Anti-Mage farmed up, get the levels on the Queen of Pain and the Disruptor. In the mid game, if Disruptor has a decent number of levels, dropping that kinetic field at the right time and Glimpse can really help to protect your team against these kind of ganking heroes, sending them back and keeping everyone alive.
Can you just do me a favor quick and confirm that you can hear me in game? Somebody in chat was saying that they couldn't hear me, so
I could hear you earlier, but let me double check.
Yeah, just want to make sure that people can hear my audio. I'm seeing the pop-up box, but for some reason...
I am hearing you. I mean, I guess if you want to be extra safe, you could just toggle it on and off.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did during the drafting stage. Maybe that fixed it. Who knows? But we should be good. Follow some crap talk a little bit. All right, let's go over the players quick. For the Radiant team, this is Team Shakira. We have the stand-in holy shit. Playing Windrunner. Next players, we have Thonmail playing the Enchantress. We've got NKZ, playing the Disruptor. MYM Slayer is on Queen of Pain. Going to have an engagement almost. I was very close. Shoxka is playing the Anti-Mage, of course. Very good farmer on their team.
Even though it's an AM, he can just die at level 1. If you telekinesis and drop a Cloud, especially with the amount of heroes that were surrounding him, that could have been bad. In fact, I think we're going to see a fight at level 1. It looks like it kind of spread out here. I don't know what Atsi is doing, but he is not on the same page as the rest of his team. 4 heroes above the tree line. He's the only one below. Not the best level 1 team, and Shackle is going to hit, but I don't think it's enough. The Cloud slowing everything down. Now Anti-Mage gets pulled back in, blinks out. Split Earth not going to hit on anything now. So many blows being traded, yet nobody has died yet. Balsam has 5 tangos, no healing salve. Now the Shadow Strike on the calculus. Meanwhile, it's going to be Atsi who goes down first, gets driven away, split up from his team. And a lineup that really looked like they could have made it go, an Anti-Mage at level 1 ends up giving up a first blood.
And Riki hitting level 1 invisibility here, swinging it towards the bot lane, a sight we see very often throughout the game. We actually have a Sentry Ward placed by the Dire team already, looking to counterward any obs, but Riki's going to have kind of a rough start here, because he did lose a lot of his HP, and he's only got Tango, so he's going to have to be very careful for the first couple of minutes, as he is up against a Thrall and a Anti-Mage, with a Jungling Enchantress, so it's going to be a tri-lane, but Atsi's got to walk all the way back down, since he did get killed.
This is pretty risky to run an offensive tri-lane against an Enchantress. You can go and gank her in the jungle, but if you're not doing that, she gets a couple of creeps up. It's going to be really hard for squishy supports like Shadow Demon, and especially Leshrac, not to get picked off. At the same time, they do have a lot of killing power. Even once you get, say, a couple of levels on Riki, just 1 point backstab, even just 1 point in Blink Strike, he's already got the Cloud. And then Poison Edict and Soulcatcher, they're going to have a lot of damage, but this is a pretty ballsy choice, because Riki's a hero that needs a good start to be effective.
Yeah, he really does. At least getting treads up on him, and he can actually start doing some decent damage. And most importantly, a couple of levels, like you said, Blink Strike and Backstab. They do a lot of damage at level, and they're very good. But the gank comes in from Enchant, hits a double Shockwave, decent damage to Balsam, but sockshka is not able to get close enough. And a couple Enchantress Illusions are also going to do slight damage to theneno, but that's going to force things back. But I mean, she can continue to do this endlessly. The Dire team doesn't have an Observer Ward up over there for some reason. They haven't placed one yet from Atsi. Maybe it doesn't feel safe. Maybe they just want to make sure that their tri-lane can score any kills that come to them. But I mean, at the moment, Riki is still getting decent farm. They're actually going to deward this Observer Ward, though, so at the very least, they do grab that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue was they planned to ward. That's why they sent 5 there to begin with. But then the huge fight broke out. It was very chaotic. And you don't want to stop to drop a ward and then end up giving up a first blood because that last auto attack was not used or your hero wasn't in the right position. Now they start to do some warding, but Enchantress can farm a lot more than these supports. So if you want to get into a ward war, I think she's going to win it. A solo kill mid. I don't know if you caught that, but you never
Plus the last 10.
Never expect to see a hero dying this early in a 1v1, especially a hero like Rubik, so strong defensively. That's a big kill. Mid lane now won by MYM Slayer.
And that's kind of unusual, actually. Both Rubik and Queen of Pain are very, very good solo heroes, but generally people would argue that Rubik is slightly more effective just because Fade Bolt is so annoying to last hit against. There might be another gank going on bottom. theneno comes in. One disruption, actually. It's going to be a stun from the center. He's doing decent damage to Atsi. I don't think they're going to be able to kill the centaur before time's out here. He's got 20 seconds left, and the right clicks from it are pretty serious here. Atsi loses about 200 HP. But yeah, what happened in the mid lane was I saw Rubik on the high ground by his tower, pretty low HP, and they were trading hits with each other, and Queen of Pain was able to get a level 2 Scream off, which was just enough damage to score the kill as you chase in. She's actually going for the bot, the gank on top, actually. Calculus has no boost yet. He can do Ghost Walk, though, and he's going to immediately go invisible. She throws one Scream of Pain to get some more slight lane control of the top lane, and that's actually very important that that happened, because I mean, that's like 200 and some mana. Yeah, 220 mana burned from Invoker just to keep himself alive there. So it's actually worth Queen of Pain's time, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely worth it. Now he can't spam Cold Snap. Normally you can use 4 or 5 of those early on. Look at Sockshka, so aggressive, fighting with the creep wave, and these supports, they really want to punish him for it, but just not really able to do so. The boots already picked up on him. That makes killing him that much more difficult. Walking out of the cloud is, it's one of these things in the mid game. Having boots is not going to matter because then the diffusal blade is up, the cloud's a lot bigger. But at this stage, just having boots makes Sockshka incredibly survivable, even with only a single point spell shield and blink. I don't know how they kill this AM at this point. I mean, even having the wards, you just can't really fight into Enchantress, but they might look to try right now.
Well, I think if they do get a combo from Disruption, actually going in on the Shadow Demon, a couple right clicks, he does disrupt the AM, he's dead for sure. Nice disables coming out of the Disruptor. He's getting his own mana drain, though. He does only have 1 level in the mana break at the moment, but going after Riki, I don't think they're going to get him, though. 1 disconnect, actually, from Disruptor. He did score the kill, though. Chain Lightning, or whatever the hell it's called, jumped on the support here. Shadow Demon gets killed and sends him back to base. That's 3 kills now for MYM, and they're sitting, I'm sorry, Shakira, and they're sitting at a very nice lead.
Yeah, pretty nice lead. I'm looking at the stream chat, and I guess people can't hear me in Dota TV. I can boost my mic, but it's probably going to be too loud on the stream then, so you may want to turn me down.
I'm guessing they can't hear at all because maybe the audio is having an issue. Maybe you have to toggle your mic as well. I toggled my open mic on and off.
Yeah,
I assume you're seeing the pop-up, though.
Do you want to just check? Because, yeah, I am seeing the little speech bubble pop up.
Okay, yep. Let me
yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not
off.
sure if it's on my end or if it's just really quiet. I can boost it, in which case you would just need to turn down the stream. It's going to be maybe a little distorted, but hopefully
yeah,
not
I can
too
hear
big
you
a deal.
through the game.
Okay, so I guess if anyone can't hear me, am I a lot louder than you? I guess that's the other possibility.
I mean,
I think maybe you're a lot louder than me. I'm not sure. Guys, just let us know. Like, turn the audio up and tell if I'm too quiet. I can try changing my volume. Then we just need to tweak the stream back the other way. But, yeah, just let us know in the chat. Well, as soon as you read Purge's messages, which is probably the better way to do it, via text.
yeah.
But I guess as far as the game goes right now, we talked about it. It's very difficult to run an offensive tri-lane, especially with a hero like Riki, who's not, he's not a Chaos Knight. He's not a hero that's really strong in the laning phase. He gets strong later on. once he has his items and his levels up. So it was a risk, and so far, not just really the first blood. To me, that's one of those things that just happens. But what's happened since then, just getting shut down by the Enchantress, even when she's not killing them, he talked about it. The Centaur walks in, these 3 heroes retreat to their tower, and that is just a lot of time they're not farming, they're not getting levels, and AM is having way more access to the creeps than you want him to. You don't run the tri-lane for this.
Yeah, you definitely don't. But he will continue getting farm at least. He's doing okay. Picks up a ring of protection. I guess we're going to see Tranquil Boots all over the place here. Riki has his finish as well, so he's got plenty of regen for the rest of the laning stage. And actually, surprisingly, Lightning being picked up on Leshrac. Now, Lightning isn't that amazing against the Anti-Mage because he has Spell Shield, but it's more reliable damage than Edict is because Anti-Mage can always just choose the one to leave. Whereas if he's stunned, you can get a little extra damage out of the Lightning Storm. So that may end up paying off. And I have seen a couple more Lightning Leshrac games than before. See some nice deny on the mid lane from MYM Slayer here. Rubik's actually at 20-5, whereas Queen of Pain's 17-4. She did leave the lane to go do that gank top lane, which gave Rubik some slight advantage, but generally he's doing pretty well mid, despite being first-blooded.
Yeah, and Rubik's a hero. It's not a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal that he gives up that first blood, but it's something he can recover from at the same time. Once he hits 6, he's going to be able to steal one of Queen of Pain's nukes. If not, either one of the nukes or the blink, and either way, it's going to help him survive. It's going to help him gank. I feel like right now there's a lot of pressure on this Rubik, and to a lesser extent, the Invoker, but it's a Wex Invoker. He can't really do too much for that lane right now. But I feel like this Rubik really has to start making things happen as soon as he hits 6 for the tri-lane, or they have to do some sort of a lane swap, because the way things are going, Balsam only Tranquil Boots, he's getting some creeps, but really not getting the levels he needs. And in the mid game, these ports will be very squishy as theneno charges in right into the cloud, can't pop that heal. I don't think you can really force this fight, too much blink striking backwards, sockshka giving chase, just going to drive them off the lane, and you're right, it's Tranquil Boots all around. Split Earth is going to hit. theneno is actually going to go down. Bit of an overextension, but trading for the Riki would be a great trade if they can. The kinetic field trapping him in. What a powerful ability, even at level 1. Disruption. Riki's life for the Enchantress, not really the best trade, but sockshka might die as well. No mana to blink, so low. The Lightning too. Is he really going to live? Oh my goodness. In fact, he wants back in, but that would be a little bit too greedy, even for this game.
Yeah, that was really nice plays there. I thought they were going to be able to grab the Anti-Mage because they did use Soul Catcher as well in conjunction, but not enough damage on the Anti-Mage. The illusions burned his mana very rapidly, and once his mana was empty, all of a sudden his illusions do very little damage to him because that is a big portion of the physical damage they do. So, yeah, Riki comes back to the bot lane. He did get killed there, which is not the best thing ever. He did help out snag the kill in the first place against the Enchantress, but he didn't get the last hit, I don't believe. And I do not see it, I think. It was before the pause, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
During this time, Rubik has managed to hit level 6. He's stolen a maxed out Screw of Pain. This is a big time ability to steal. And that's the other thing that, the other point that's worth making is when Rubik falls behind, his opponents get more levels. So he gets to steal stronger spells. So it's just sort of this built-in comeback mechanic for the hero as a solo. With level 4 Screw of Pain, if he finds the Enchantress or the Disruptor, I feel he can just instantly solo kill them. So I'd really like to see maybe a smoke gank or something. And it looks like they are going to abandon the tri-lane. Balsam's not level 6. Sort of banking, I think, on the Radiant not reacting right away. Well, not entirely abandoning the tri-lane. Here comes the Leshrac in mid. And Telekinesis plus Split Earth with the level 4 Scream Pain. They may be able to set up a kill here.
Yeah, it is pretty insane burst damage. And Split Earth's level 2, so it's respectable as well. 180 damage is not bad for a level 2 nuke. And there is some denying going on. They're trying to wait till he gets to the low ground, and Quova's just waiting to initiate. Just biding his time. It's very, very crucial that he uses it at the right time with the Leshrac and that they communicate properly. It is nighttime, so it's going to be really hard for Queen of Pain to see this, and he just leaves, actually. He's going to shift towards the top lane, doesn't really feel safe about this, and instead may try to take top lane. If they can take a Tornado on top of Windrunner, he can set up a Split Earth afterwards. There's only 2 levels in Quas, though, so the up duration is very limited, 1.1 lift time, but they're waiting for it very patiently. Here it comes. Nope, Calculus is going to throw one hit, and Windrunner's playing very safe.
Oh, he comes up, but it's not the right time. There's the Tornado, though, and no, the Split Earth not going to be in range. Really needed a Cold Snap as well to set that up. Waiting for it, and now the Wind Run will not allow you to dodge those Cold Snap procs, but threatening to shackle. Does force them to drive back. Here comes the counter gank from Queen of Pain. Nice TP in. Had the ult. I think she was going to cast it, but chose to go with the Scream instead. And one more blink forward. Going for Calculus. Big dive to try and kill him off, but he is too fast. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Enchantress is back to her old tricks, recognizing Leshrac is not there. They go on the aggressive, taking advantage of this 3v2, glimpsed back all the way. Now Balsam runs the other direction. 10 charge one, blinking out of the kinetic field onto a creep. Beautiful play by him. but he's only using these beautiful plays to survive. He's not really getting kills. Once he hits 6, I think life gets a lot easier, at least for him, and then the supports can look to catch up, but dodging a bullet there, to put it mildly.
Yeah, he did a great job blinking out as soon as he was in trouble. The Rubik also shifted to the bot lane, just a slight mistake there. Sock losing all of his mana again by disruption. But he shifted all the way bottom. There was a Radiant ward up, so they saw him coming and they backed off immediately. So loses a little bit more EXP trying to help out there. I mean, he really almost just needs to grab a TP scroll and just show up, TP to the lane so that they can't see him coming. But even if you look at the Radiant wards, they even have a lane ward set up. So even if this lane is slightly pushed up, they're going to see the Rubik every time. And this is such a crucial defense against the solo mid because Queen of Pain has been able to snag kills and support, and the Rubik has not.
Yeah, she's already got 1,200 gold. I wonder what the item choice is going to be. I mean, normally something like Power Treads, once in a while we see a Bloodstone Rush. Even going for an early BKB can be potent. So far not spending it, hitting level 8. Hasn't used the ult yet either. Although she's had some kills, the score is 6-1. I feel like she hasn't really taken advantage of it. I mean, we've been talking about how Rubik can contribute to this trialing. Queen of Pain can as well if she shows up to the lane. It's a level 4 Shadow Demon with no boots. That's an easy kill. Leshrac, boots, but only level 3. You know, these heroes are one nuke and then a couple of auto attacks from a kill. Riki finally hits 6, going for the Blade of Alacrity. And you mentioned the Tranquil Boots on the carries. It's something we're seeing a lot of. It's cheaper. It gives you that lane sustainability. We saw the International too. Zoe loved to go first Tranquil Boots on Luna. But the one thing it does, it's cheap and it gives you the lane regen. I almost feel like this item is maybe too good. Sort of like how drums have been nerfed in the most recent patch, where they don't give you as much damage. Just Ice Frog trying to discourage carries from building it. Although a lot of them still do.
Yeah, it is a really good item, and especially on a hero like Riki, where you don't really need any regen items necessarily. I mean, every hero needs regen items in lane, especially as a hard carry. But the stuff that Riki wants, he wants a Diffusal Blade really fast, and he needs survivability. He's generally pretty survivable if you pick and choose because he's invisible and he has Smoke Cloud, but you don't want to buy a Vanguard. That's 2,000 gold, which surely will set back your damage items. They might go in on the Anti-Mage, actually. No disruption from Matzi. And just Tranquil Boots is fantastic. It allows you to go straight towards your Diffusal Blade pretty safely. Rubik's also here in the bot lane with the DD. He's got a Blink level 2 as well, so they might be able to fight this. Are we going to see a disruption? I would like to see a disruption. It's going to be a glimpse back. This is bad for Shadow Demon. He disrupts the Anti-Mage, at least buys him at least a second. Smoke Cloud as well. Actually, he's surviving a lot longer than I thought he would here. There's the ulti. Puts him low, draining all the mana from Sock. Are we going to see a Telekinesis already been used? Right-clicking on top of the enchant. She drops very rapidly. And Calculus also in the team fight, but looks like they want to go after the Queen of Pain instead. She leaves the lane, goes for treads, as well as a dust, actually, trying to get some ganks off. But
they want to go
nice
right back
engagement
in.
going on.
They're not done yet. Balsam really wants to drop a cloud, just waiting for that moment. Something stolen. I believe it's only Blink. Yep, not going to get the Mana Void. Although, honestly, Mana Voids. Oh, wait, did he?
Yep.
Oh,
Did get the Mana Void.
Yeah, got Mana Void. That's actually... Whoops. Well, that's going to force them back to base. That actually does a lot of damage in this situation where all the spells have been used up. Although I think really you would like to have Blink a lot more. Much more versatile as a spell. But, you know, the big thing there was that MYM were they were all grouped up together, so there was no easy way to fight, and like you said, the cloud really helped Shadow Demon out. Those two factors. Queen of Pain was waiting in the wings for a while. She got spotted by a ward, as did the Rubik when he came. Both of the mid heroes got spotted trying to gank that direction. But I felt like MYM was just grouped up and their teamwork was a little bit better, and that's what won them that fight. Calculus trying to finagle for the room, but Queen of Pain is going to fight this. 14 charges on the wand. Cold Snap pop. There's your Scream of Pain. Calculus now runs the other way. Power Shot dodges away, but the dust is there. That is a dead Invoker.
He did a really nice job fighting that. I think it was a little dangerous, of course, but I think he did slightly... He did what he needed to get away from the Queen of Pain. He dodged the Power Shot, but then the dust came in.
Oh, he's got Mana Void.
So.
Oh!
And did he just walk in and do that? I didn't even see him leading up to that.
He strutted in. I think he had an Invis rune that he had just turned on. And then Fade bolted and then used Mana Void. I mean, really the Mana Void was enough. Queen of Pain is a lot of mana and not very much HP at that point. Now they get the tier 1 bottom as well. And, you know, this is the nice thing about the support Leshrac, even when he's underfarmed, underleveled. Although he didn't even go for Edict, I'm surprised they were able to bring that down. I guess just having 4 heroes earlier, they did a lot of damage. This is going to maybe create space for Sockshka. But at the same time, now there's less safe space from the farm. They actually smoke right up and want to continue the aggression.
It was that spotted in the lane ward, though. The Radiant lane ward goes catching vision pretty close to that area, so they might have caught it, but there's actually a lot of heroes from Shakira towards on the bottom lane. Windrunner shifting down as well. Looks like she's going for Steph has pretty good HP right now, 929 with Tranquil Boots. Enchantress is a squishy one though, just to brace her wand on her, and Riki really wants to get one of these kills, but there's a lot of heroes. They're going to spot him actually. Do they have a gem or something? It must be a sentry ward. Yeah, there is the sentry ward. They might dust this. He's not dusted yet. He is visible though. They put another sentry down. He's killed, so that's one of the limitations, not having enough HP, and he does get caught by the sentry. Big loss areas. They do jump on the Queen to Pain mid lane, but she's going to live as well. Enchantress kills Leshrac actually, so losing 2 heroes there, Riki as well as Leshrac.
Riki almost had, in spite of running the offensive tri-lane, he almost had his Diffusal Blade. Now he's sitting on 230 gold, still only about 500 away. If that fight goes the other direction, he has the Diffusal, and they don't even have, you know, they have a little bit less gold. The Enchantress doesn't get her drums right now. That is a pretty big turn of events for me. I still think that window for Riki to have a huge impact is here, but it's delayed at least for a little bit. That means time for Anti-Mage to farm, and I think perhaps more importantly, time for his team to get a little bit of farm.
Yeah, farming definitely important out of Riki, because once he gets the Diffusal Blade, easy kills on Anti-Mage and other heroes, if he catches them solo. So that's kind of what he's waiting for now. There's some heroes shifting bottom, but once again, Enchantress is still close. Drum of Endurance, really fast drum on Enchant, actually. Sentry, nope, that's an Observer Ward. One Observer Ward is placed. Balsam realizes that it's not a Sentry because they're not jumping on him in there. He does go for a couple last hits, so... But there's so much protection on Anti-Mage. This entire game, actually, every time they try to snag this Anti-Mage kill, there's always supporters there.
They're really, you know, the one thing that it's fortunate they have the jungler, because they're spending a lot of time defending him in lane at this point in the game, where really you'd like to be getting farm and levels up on your supports. But because they have Enchantress, because they were doing the pulls earlier, they're still maintaining a nice little experience lead. I'm a little concerned though. I mean, we talked about how good Riki is at dealing with this lineup, and I don't really think they've shut him down as much as they would like to. He's got 70 CS now. He's been involved in a couple of kills. Blinking on the top lane. Queen of Pain immediately tornado onto her. Something stolen from Windrunner, who's level 10. That is a level 4 shackle shot, which doesn't land, going one direction. Now the disconnect from Disruptor. The pause immediately from the Enchantress. And Rubik could easily turn this around for a kill, I feel, if he's able to hit a nice shackle. Especially with Calculus waiting right at the tower and the TP coming in. This actually looks rather bad for the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that there. If he can land, at least there's a pretty easy shackle lineup for MYM Slayer here. Power Shot is on cooldown, so Windrunner's pretty limited on damage. And he's got 11 Charge Wand and a completely full bottle with 2 levels in no field, by the way. So any magic damage he takes is reduced by an extra 10% or so. So I think he has a good chance here. All he has to do is land the shackle on the Queen of Pain. Hopefully we'll see there, maybe Tornado's actually already used, excuse me. Tornado already used, but we will have a cold snap. If he just shackles this Queen of Pain, starts the nuking, she's going to be put down pretty fast, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting to see as well. And, you know, also telekinesis, you can throw her up in the air, then walk around and drop the shackle. There's no power shot. True. The only thing to worry about is this immediate Sonic Wave, but with Cold Snap, I think they get this one. We're about to find out, though. Shackle!
Nice movement.
Oh, I don't know if that was the right order. I think you go for telekinesis first, but either way, I think they get the kill, maybe? Power shot on 2. Really nicely done by the Windrunner, doing so much damage. In the end, that works out pretty well. They force multiple TPs up top, and, well, they survive.
Yeah, that's one benefit of the pause. I thought it was more of a dire advantage, but that does give you time. You can actually click on your opponent's hero and see what spell he has. So I'm sure they checked and said, oh god, he's got Shackle Shot. He's obviously going to shackle me as the Queen of Pain. And the first thing that the Queen of Pain did was moved out of the line of sight range. And like you said, telekinesis would have guaranteed them the shackle, but it was some nice play from the Queen of Pain to keep herself alive as the bot tower is now being pressured by Anti-Mage, Enchantress, and Disruptor.
Yeah, you know, it's just they're not leaving this Anti-Mage alone for a moment. There's a Split Earth on 2, and the Cloud. Incredible Split Earth from him. Throwing it in when they had vision. Just really nice job. But Balsam taking a lot of damage. Imp is going to hit. Do they drop the ult here? He's fading, and he's gone. No detection, but now Leshrac's in trouble. Fresh Cloud available. Tranquil Boots could be used in a second. I think he's waiting. Yep, there you go. He's going to pop them now. In comes the Rubik. Doesn't have Blink, but he does have Shackle. Can he get in range? Tornado, not going to hit, but what a Shackle. It does connect. Balsam heals up. Another kill for him, I believe. No, goes to the Rubik, but now he's got the Diffusal Blade. And Purge apparently, 8C top lane, DD Queen of Pain onto him. That's going to be another kill. And in fact, back on the bottom lane, straight onto Anti-Mage, thrown into the creeps. No time for me to mention that. I think this is going to be a kill. Mana Void, yep, there you go. All right. Apparently your mic is off again. I don't know what's going on with Dota today.
I toggled it again. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe it's some weird thing where it cycles who's working or something. I don't know, because my mic has been on this whole time, and as has yours, I believe. So Leshrac's getting killed in the mid lane again. just some weird tech issue, I guess. I don't think it's on our end, to be honest. I'm not sure what's going on.
We apologize for this, but it's really not in our control. It's a bug with Dota TV where sometimes mics just cut out. Other streamers have been having the issue, so if it happens, just let us know in stream chat. We'll toggle it for you, and hopefully that will resolve it. But it's nothing we're doing. Trust us. We've cast it up at this point. We do know which settings to press. Just sometimes it stops working. So again, our apologies, but hopefully it will be resolved. Diffusal Blade's up on Balsam, and he comes mid. This is the next 5 to 10 minutes are really tough. I feel for this Radiant squad, and that's going to be a kill on Disruptor.
Yep, that's exactly what you gotta do. He's gonna take good damage from the ulti at least, putting him down to about half HP, but the power of Tranquil Boots will surely show its true colors in a second as he does get healed up to full HP. They're gonna defend this though. Queen of Pain's mid, 2 level 11 heroes. They have Mana Void in 5 seconds, so they could make something happen, though the Mana Break is still very low. It's gonna be hard to drain them to max, but his blink levels are going to be maxed out as well, and he's got good HP from stats, so he shifts to the bot lane, actually. He sees all of this juicy farm. He wants to keep getting his Battle Fury as fast as possible, so kind of a late Battle Fury at this point, but considering they're up against a tri-lane, it's not the end of the world.
You know, I really would like to see him try and keep the creeps near this tower. If he's pushing the lane out too much, then you get into this really dangerous spot where Riki can easily come and gank you, or your team is forced to protect you. They're smoked up top, want to set something up. I guess they're waiting for someone to show up in the lane. Rubik, oh, he dispels the smoke at Rax range. The Shackle, that one really looked good to me, but is not going to connect, and, well, he'll escape. A wasted opportunity, wasted time. One thing that's worth talking about is just keep an eye on the map, guys, for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and watch the positioning of this Radiant squad. They're forced to travel in a pack if they're away from towers, and otherwise they just really can't leave the towers, because that's where the Riki is going to kill you. So it gives an opportunity not only for Riki to find kills, but also for his team to push down towers, to be aggressive, and also to farm and catch up.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're worried about. A lot of teams, the way they combat this is putting sentry wards all over the place wherever their main heroes are farming. Such as mid lane, they'll maybe throw a sentry right in the middle of the river. That way whoever's getting last hits here can be safe. But right now, TP's coming top. Actually, they're going to fight. Shackle lands on Rubik, though. He's going to start things off and going immediately on the enchant. He's not even going to need a Diffusal Blade charge for this one, or maybe he will actually. He's a little worried about this one. He does get glimpsed back, but unfortunately for the Disruptor, that was not within time to send it back on the TP.
Oh, and he's going to go right back in. Do they have any detection? They just have a dust on the Queen of Pain. I don't see anything else right now. You really want a sentry in this situation. Oh, they do have one sentry, but it's up in the lane, not over in the woods, which is... Yeah, I guess Riki could approach from that direction, but at this point, it's looking like he wants to backstab. Not the ability, but the movement pattern. So now they're working on the tower. Tornado and EMP both going to hit on the Enchantress. Tower's in deny range, but I don't think they can take this. They're just going to have to let it go. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain gets a solo kill mid, but the action is about to break up top. I believe Balsam charging in. Another Sentry Ward gets dropped, just delivered, but Power Shot to clean that one up. And Balsam is starting to get a little bit out of control.
Yeah, 3 kills now on him. Killing spree is on the way. Diffusal Blade plus a wand, 1,500 gold. So from here, he wants to tank up, maybe get some utility. I expect him either to go BKB or more likely Manta style to really increase his movement speed and damage, which is probably what we'll see. It's a nice way to increase your HP as well. You get 10 strength out of it, and even the Rubik doing some decent damage to the Queen of Pain. Power Shot actually a very good ability to have on Rubik. Does huge damage to a single target. 360 for a level 4 nuke, and you can combo that with Telekinesis very easily. So it's kind of fun to see that skill used.
Yeah, long range also helps you deal with the Enchantress creeps, and it's good for pushing, great for count. Between Fade Bolt and either Power Shot or Scream of Pain, good luck ever pushing against this team. It's just, it's not going to happen until much later in the game. You know, and I think at this point, she goes for a Dagon. Very curious from MYM Slayer and the Queen of Pain. I expected a BKB because you can pop BKB in Cloud and then you're not silenced. Balsam, they saw him. They want to go. He purges off the dust, but he is shackled to a tree. Quap Bolt is not there. Disrupted defensively to turn things around. Now the Purge on the Windrunner. Are they really going to fight this? A Dagon could snipe him. No, he heals back up. Not using the Dagon. Could have killed Balsam. It's a really tough situation in the heat of the moment there. Now Mayo gets caught out. Split Earth will hit. 3 heroes dead. I believe, no, 2 tanky surviving through it all.
Yeah, that was definitely a good Edict kill. If he did pick it up, Disruptor's going to get killed by the Riki, though. Couple impetus. Wow, a little overly aggressive here. And now that Enchantress survived, Riki dies as a result. So maybe Edict was the correct choice this game because the lightning damage was not enough there, 145. And despite the good stun by Nino, just didn't make the play happen. And a huge play by Riki especially to diffuse the dust off immediately. You can remove the buff and then you go invisible again. And that's exactly why Queen of Pain didn't just combo the guy. He didn't have his ulti. He didn't have vision to cast the Dagon. So he was limited to what she did.
And this also buys time for the Anti-Mage. They've been leaving him alone. You know, normally you're hunting the AM. That's why you pick the Riki. Courier gets sniped right near the Radiant safe camp. It had just delivered his Battle Fury, I believe, the final components of that, or maybe it was the Magic Wand. But either way, on the way back from Anti-Mage, sockshka really wasn't controlling that. Should have sent it to the southern tree line, and it's a lot of gold into the MYM pockets now. Overall, still pretty even game. Dire lead in terms of gold, Radiant slightly in terms of experience, but it's such a small differential. This one is anybody's game to lose. This Dagon pick is interesting, but followed up by a gem. I guess one of the supports bought that. So they want to start going on the offensive. When you kill Riki, it's not just the hero gold and the hero kill with him. It's now you feel safe moving around the map. So I like this if they can make it work. They're already using it for some dewarding, so it has that secondary utility as well. Also, there's Ghost Walk. So overall, this gem, it's a boom or bust thing. If you give this up, then you are so royally screwed. But as long as you have it, life is a little bit easier.
And you can look at it as a cost benefit as well. I mean, think how many Sentry Wards they now don't have to buy. I mean, Sentry Wards last for 3 minutes in one position, and it covers you slightly against if Riki happens to be there, but it can quickly add up to be a gem cost, and I'm sure they've spent at least 700 thus far on Sentry Wards and Dust alone. But now that they have the gem, they don't have to worry about it as much. They can perfectly initiate on the Riki and possibly get some kills. And I also really like the Dagon, to be honest, because if we look at Riki's HP, he actually does have an Ogre Club now, possibly going Yasha BKB. I think that would be the best choice for him in terms of survivability. He can ignore Disruptor, as well as not worry about Queen of Pain as much, but they're going to take out the Centaur in the Roshan pit. They were thinking about taking the Roshan. Nice play by Enchantress to get the vision there. Splitter's actually going to miss here, and Balsam wants to take the Roshan, but I don't think he's going to be able to, because the Radiant team might just initiate.
They have Alacrity that they could throw on Riki, but they're holding on to Tornado, worried about this fight. Tornado flies out, only catches Windrunner. Now Windrunning away. Will she be glimpsed back? Or will anyone be glimpsed in, rather, I mean to say. But no, not yet. Windrun stolen by Rubik, but just easy to run away. Both teams kind of, you know, a game of chicken, and both teams veer off into the tree line at the last moment.
Yeah, neither one really wants to fight at the moment. If you go into the Roshan pit, it's a pretty easy AoE for the Radiant team to deal some good damage. And the main thing they have to be worried about is Disruptor. If his ulti and Kinetic Field combo lands on heroes like Rubik or Invoker, they may not take insane damage because of the null field, but you'll see a lot of silence, and the silence is going to stop them from counter-initiating at all or casting any of their spells, and that's when things get really bad in the team fight. One of the scariest team fight heroes in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's sort of their version of Riki, not nearly as much damage, but similar lockdown potential.
Wow, they did drain Sock's mana. Disruption as well, good power shot onto. She goes in, pops the ulti, great ulti from Queen of Pain. Will she Dagon? She does. Dagon's on the Riki. Great plays from Queen of Pain there. Absolutely MVP of that fight. Picks off 2 heroes. Anti-Mage still dead. Invoker buys back as well. They want to pick off some more kills in Chancellor. Shadow Demon falls as well, and Chant is going to absolutely die there. And Slayer wants some more kills. Maybe he does have the gem, though. He's got to be really careful. He blinks away. And I hear another static field picks off the Rubik, and that was a pretty big teamfight win for the Radiant team. Not only did they kill 3 of the enemy heroes, but that was a buyback from Invokers. That was 4 kills plus buyback for an Anti-Mage Enchantress. And they got the tower, I think. Yeah, tower destroyed by Radiant.
Yeah, Anti-Mage with the ultimate orb, just getting the HP. Normally you go Yasha for faster farming, but this game, you need every bit of HP and stats you can get to deal with the burst damage, to deal with the Riki. You know, Dagon is one of these items, if you're able to just use it quickly, if you land your ult, you just instantly assassinate heroes, and then even though you're squishier, even though in a longer fight maybe it doesn't do much for you, it turns what would have been a 5v5 into instantly a 4v5, or even a 3v5, and from there she was just on cleanup duty. Really can't believe she lived. I thought she was screwed for sure when that cold snap hit her. Invoker was on top of her, but yeah, a really nice blink out of sight, and there was nothing else to hit her.
And she's going a lot of stat levels, by the way, if you guys didn't notice this. Only one in Shadow Strike right now, just using the minimum slow ability. The cooldown gets pretty insane, actually, when it's level 4. An 8-second cooldown on Shadow Strike. The slow lasts for longer than that, so you can stack this on multiple people during a team fight. But she's most concerned about getting her HP up, which is absolutely the smart decision. When you're up against a smoke cloud, you do not want to mess around with being too squishy. You don't want to let him have that little timing window and allow him to kill you. As we see a smoke now from MYM, so they're going for more ganks. I guess Invoker is going to be looking for initiations. He is working on his sheep stick. A lot of sheep sticks being purchased in this game, possibly, especially against Anti-Mage. Could work out against Riki. There's counter initiation. Queen of Pain might be in trouble. There's Cold Snap as well as the EMP, but a great 4-step actually gets her way. Good attempt at a save, but the gem, it's going to hit the ground. Can they kill it in time? Balsam actually might die, except Disruptor steals it. So, bam, a gem is gone. Queen of Pain did die. Windrunner looks dead as well, but either way, still pretty decent play. Gets disrupted, though. But they're not going to fall up on it. They decide to back up.
And she bought back. Are they going to give her the gem back? No, she just jumps in. She's got the ult in 1 second. Tornado is going to hit. Split Earth, not because of that tornado. The creeps even decide to throw a shockwave in there. AM playing essentially for protect one at this point in the game. Shakira just AM pushing one side of the map while the rest of the team applies pressure, groups up together, and tries to create some space for him. Really unlucky for the Queen of Pain. You know, yes, there was a bunch of heroes off the map, but literally the second she goes in, they just get in range to counter gank. Still buying back, and most importantly, saving the gem. If you lose it, it's a 1,400 gold swing, but they get it back. So overall, I'd say a decent fight. Sure, they might have lost out in the gold trade up top, but they gain it back with AM's farm.
Yeah, they do for sure, especially the tower. It's so fantastic. Queen Pain's getting caught by a tornado, but she can TP out in about 12 seconds. I don't think she's that concerned. He's just going to keep hitting her with nukes, I suppose. As she blinks away, yeah, see, there you go. He's like, I'll just hit you with something else.
Yeah,
just make you a little worried.
That's one of those things that's like it's like a mosquito that you're trying to slap and kill, and you can't get it, you can't hit it, so you just start smacking the wall randomly in rage. I think that was just sort of a spiteful deafening blast, you might say.
Yeah, I think he was hoping maybe for a TP interruption or something like that to maybe get lucky and destroy a TP, but it was on cooldown for Queen of Pain, so she was completely fine there. Let's check up how Riki is doing at the moment. 1,400 gold, is getting closer to his BKB. Still needs 1,300 gold to finish that, but he will be there eventually. And we did see him get shackled in the last team fight, and that was part of the reason that he got nuked down so heavily. I don't remember if he died, but he got really, really close to dying. And he might get ganked now, actually. Queen of Pain comes in. They have the vision. There's the enchant slow. How many levels of that? That's only level 1 enchant, so majorly low slow. And he's in a lot of trouble. Surrounded by 3, though. There's going to be a TP out. Can he make it? It's not enough. Dagon does the damage. And Riki gets killed on the bot lane. That's going to delay his BKB by a lot. And he did not buy a Mithril Hammer before he died. So losing 400 gold there.
The predator has become the prey. Riki is the one who's being hunted, right? At this point in the game, if things are going well, you're driving the enemy heroes back. Especially, we talked about how good he is. Oh no, blink in on the calculus, 4-step backwards. Anti-Mage charges in, but he loses quite a decent chunk of mana. Still giving chase. How far will they go for this? Rubik steals away. Blink, I believe, level 4 Blink. Gives him that mobility. So far, I feel we haven't really seen Rubik's full potential. He's just not able to steal the right spells at the right times, and also worried about getting bursted down. I feel he could be doing more, but he's just not getting the openings he needs. And now they get another tier 2. This is the thing with the Anti-Mage. Even with the late Battle Fury, Riki just can't farm as quickly as him. So if it turns into a farm war, AM's going to win that one every time. And it's starting to look like a farm war because at this point, Riki needs a BKB. But even if he gets the BKB, by the time he does, there's probably going to be a Reaver, possibly even a Heart up on AM. And I'm not sure the BKB is enough at that point anymore.
Yeah, there's definitely a very fine balance where Riki becomes effective against Anti-Mage. He has to get the free farm for the defusal, get there quickly, and then start ganking the Anti-Mage. At least shortly after the Battle Fury is finished, or if things are perfect, then you kill him at least once before Battle Fury. But now that he has Manta, he's on his way to the HP, just like you said, and that's when things get really tough. You can Smoke Cloud, and you can right-click him, but it's going to take more like 8 to 12 hits instead of a simple 4 with the early backstab and Smoke Cloud. So that's going to be really rough for them. MYM is trying to take the Roshan pit at least, and that'll put an Aegis on Riki. This is actually a good substitute to have in the BKB, because then he can just die twice in a team fight, and they are definitely worried about winning this game at the moment. Radiant team's shifting towards them. They know that they're in there. The downside is Queen of Pain's mana is not that full. 1 Century Ward starting things off, and MYM is going to back out Balsam. There's a Tornado. Shackle's not going to latch, so Kinetic Field does catch the Rubik, but they're scared to initiate on this one. Rubik's gonna be absolutely fine.
It almost just feels like MYM is afraid to go in now, you know, unless they're finding a hero caught out of position. Balsam normally would be the initiator at this point, but without the BKB, he's actually quite easily picked off. Yeah, you pop your BKB, you blink strike in, you drop a cloud, you diffuse a blade, and you just focus a hero. Even if you don't kill it, that gives your team the opportunity to move into the fight freely without being focused down. But if he's not able to initiate, which right now it seems he's not, I don't think they have a plan B.
Yeah, so keeps having some funny blinks. Keeps blinking in this little spot here from the river. 2,500 gold now, 2,600 gold. Pretty massive gold lead. Mech as well, actually, on Windrunner. So she went Force into Mech. There's even a Ghost Scepter on Disruptor, which is a perfect item choice against Riki. The only downside is if he ends up popping Ghost Scepter before or after you defuse the blade. You got to wait for the defuse the blade charge, and then you pop the Ghost Scepter. Otherwise, that can be removed with the Purge ability, of course. So it looks like they're actually looking to smoke us as well. Tons of smokes coming from both teams. And Anti-Mage, actually, this is going to be a 5-man smoke. They really, really want to fight this. Look at their path on the map. They're going straight for the upper Roshan pit. They want to fight. If they can take a kill advantage by killing a couple heroes with no buyback, they will be able to take Roshan. And at that point, there's going to be no advantage possible for MYM for the next 6 to 10 minutes. minutes that is. And it looks like the Dire team actually completely shifting top lane. They're worried about covering the Riki Maru, I suppose, and they know that everybody from the Radiant team is missing. Though the lanes are pushing out, so it's not the most obvious thing ever, I think we will see an engagement as they find the Dire team.
Oh, it's about to kick off. AM can initiate quite well. Just pop that man to go to work. Oh, no, they catch the Rubik. Off the bat, he's down for the count. It looks, yeah, not going to steal any spells. Not really going to do anything. 5-4 immediately. That is the power of the smoke egg. Catching him out of position. Now AM blinks in, chasing forward, trying to do some more damage. Queen of Pain leading the charge for this team with the gem, and now they catch out the Shadow Demon. Once you knock over one domino, the rest just start toppling. And they're not really in the best position to go Roche. In fact, MYM is frantically scrambling that way. But they can take the tier 2 and at least force MYM to play defense, then rotate over later. Just really, the fact that Shakira went for that smoke gank, it was just perfect. They had the observer wards. They'd already dewarded earlier during the previous engagement. The decision making for this team really solid here in the mid game.
Yep, and Anti-Mage says, okay, we got our tower advantage. We took what we wanted to do, and I'm going back to farming immediately, which is going to guarantee that he increases his farm over the Riki Maru, who, once again, doesn't have a Battle Fury, so it's a little bit harder for him to clear camps. And not to mention, his Blink Strike is a fabulous skill, but it can't get him from camp to camp as rapidly. As he grabs a regen, he's going to shift bottom, and probably looking for some hero kills, and that's really the only way that Riki can increase his farm over an Anti-Mage. And it's just not happening yet.
BKB is now up on the AM. AM farms a BKB in less time than Riki was able to farm really just one of the components, because he's had enough gold to buy the Mithril Hammer for ages at this point. So, it's just AM farming well and also not dying. That's the other aspect of it. It's not just the time he's farming, it's not just the creeps he's killing, it's the gold he's not losing, it's the opportunity cost of those deaths. I really, for MYM at this point, the BKB is really, it doesn't feel like it's enough on the Riki. I think maybe you try and get multiple Scythes of Vice up, maybe a BKB on the Leshrac, as well as the Scythe of Vice on the Invoker. Those two will be coming soon. They haven't given up Roshan. I'm not sure. I mean, what else could they do aside from that? I just feel like their options are dwindling at this point.
Riki could just focus damage items, I guess. He could be major gamble, of course, but I mean, if the team fight went perfectly, no, that's probably too crazy. I really feel like he has to go BKB, maybe like Basher or something. Maybe if he gets Basher and he can catch Anti-Mage out of position or something, but at this point, Anti-Mage now is a BKB, so even if he gets Smoke Clouded, he could just BKB and then he's not Magic Immune anymore. Or he is Magic Immune and the Smoke Cloud doesn't silence him anymore. So no matter what happens, Anti-Mage I think is going to be pretty fine in the team fights. I mean, I think it's going to take a really good initiation from MYM where they catch the Radiant team out of position, maybe pick off Enchantress or Windrunner or even Disruptor. If they can fight before Disruptor gets his ulti off, that's going to help a lot as well.
I'm not really a big fan of the Rubik's items this game, and normally we've seen, God, how many times have we seen Dendi go for Blink Dagger, Force Staff? Not just the Rubik, but a lot of other heroes. But this game, it's, Calculus gets called out, and he's probably going to drop here. They have the Dagon. Don't need it. Maybe they do. MYM Slayer. Kill secured, sir. Good work by you. And now they go right into the pit. And what do you know? A DD rune for Sockshka. This should be the Aegis for Shakira. And with the Aegis, it's so much insurance. It pretty much guarantees the next 6 minutes. There's no way they're getting Rax, no matter how well MYM play this. And MYM going for a big wraparound, it looks like, but not going to be there in time.
And AM does pick up the Aegis, guarantees his farm. Even if Riki does kill him, he'll be able to come back alive and blink away very easily. It is a BKB for Riki next. So BKB, maybe Manta Style afterwards, that will create some decent illusions, and that's going to make it harder for Anti-Mage to focus fire the Riki Maru down. But, I mean, they have so many survivable items at the moment. They've got the Ghost Scepter, even Enchantress has a Force Staff as well, so no matter who gets initiated on the Radiant team, I think they're going to be okay. BKB on Queen of Pain, same thing going as the Anti-Mage. If the Smoke Cloud lands, pops the BKB and she blinks away, very simply. So 1400 HP on her as well. She might be getting ganked, actually, by Shadow Demon and Riki, but can they initiate? Here comes Rubik, comes forward, actually doesn't even blink or Force Staff. They go and telekinesis. BKB's popping, it's too much damage. So that is the way to stop her. Initiate before she sees what's happening. I am so surprised he didn't blink initiate, because she could have blinked away there. That was like walk into melee range and then cast telekinesis.
Yeah, did he actually steal Scream of Pain during that fight or before it? Because he has Scream of Pain now, so I don't know, maybe
he just stole this.
Okay.
So looks like he just stole it.
Yeah, not sure why he didn't choose to blink in, but I guess it worked out, so no big deal. They lose the gem, but I mean, you talked about it paying for itself. It's paid for itself 3 or 4 times over. I mean, just in terms of the wards and the number of kills they've got on Riki, not to mention dewarding, as well as just having a sense of safety when Riki's dead and being able to farm a little bit on the AM. So even if they buy another gem now, I think it's fine. Using the BKB charge, a bit unfortunate. It'll be up, though, and aside from that kill and aside from the gem being traded over, what else did they get out of that? They don't get a tier 2. They can't get a Roshan. It's not really that big of a loss, even though on paper it seems like a pretty nice one.
Yeah, the raiding team wasn't that worried. They grouped as 4 and they started pushing. They didn't back off and run away, go to turtle. They just were not that concerned. They said, okay, Queen of Pain's dead. It's okay. She used her BKB, not the end of the world. She actually buys another gem now, unless that was placed from an ally. Somebody purchased a gem, that's for sure. And wow, there's 300 last hits on Anti-Mage right now. That's just the power of the hero. Despite having a slightly rough start, sockshka done a great job of really increasing his farm throughout the game.
Oh, theneno is in a lot of trouble. Pops the heal. Oh, he's actually going to live because of untouchable shackle shot. Not going to latch, but Balsam running away. Really late on the BKB, I feel. Tornado catches 3, but just using it to run away. This is not why you build towards that item. You build it to jump in and do damage, but in that situation, he didn't have a choice. Kind of unfortunate. And MYM, it's just so hard for them. Like you said, it's finding these kills, the BKB on the Queen of Pain. The items in general and the hero abilities are very strong defensively. Shackle Shot, Wind Run, Glimpse, good for sending enemies away. And then it's Blink, of course. And then it's also just the positioning of Shakira. We've seen 1 or 2 times where they've been out of position, but it's just so few windows to capitalize upon.
Yeah, it really is. I love the skill build on Enchant. You pointed that out, that it was really untouchable that saved her. And she only has 1 level of enchant, a single level, very, very uncharacteristic. And we've seen other games where people go low on Nature's Attendance with a couple enchant and just crap loads of stats, which works best against magic nukers. But against a physical damage hero like Riki, especially because he doesn't have treads, he's a little limited on attack speed. She grabs a lot of untouchable and that reduces his attack speed by 80. That's massive attack reduction. I mean, you can look at these Ursas. They do virtually nothing against her. And worked out very nice to keep her alive.
Yeah, it's the entire team, you know, Queen of Pain as well, where they're just going for these survivability builds. You just have to live long enough to get out of the cloud, then you pop your heal, or you blink away, and or even, you know, just use your BKB if you're being disabled in some way, like stunned or something. Then you live. So it's a build that really fits the game, tweaking those. Even Disruptor, I don't think he's 311. No, okay, he's maxing Thunderstrike. He's just doing it last. I was gonna say even going for stats, which to me would be fine too, because Thunderstrike's not that great when you level it up. I mean, I think it's okay not to, but he's not. So yeah, only those 2. But it's just one of these little touches that it's sort of the needle, you know, and well, not the needle head, but just another piece of straw to slowly break that camel's back. God, that was a horrible analogy. Can we just strike that one from the record, Kevin, and pretend
That's a lot of straw. That's a lot of straw. You could just be like, I like 38 extra HP, and I would have been like, yes. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like anything to get this guy to stop talking about straw. Holy crap.
And camels.
Here we
are.
are.
About camels, okay? This is Dota. Unless like a camel hero gets ported, that would be sweet then.
Sockshka with a manly build. He picks up a basher. Picks up a basher here. So finally sells the Quelling Blade, which he doesn't. Or actually, this is TP scroll, I think. And well, basher, great offensive item, and so far he's been able to be offensive whenever he wants to. So I think it's gonna work.
Yeah, the main reason he's grabbing this is because since Riki does have a BKB now, there's there's no ways that the raiding team can actually shut him down when he's magic immune. As he farms the next 600 700 gold, he will have a Super Basher, also known as an Abyssal Blade, and that's going to allow him to actually stun Riki for 2 seconds through BKB. Now, the mana break is not going to work if you're magic immune. If you're magic immune, you don't take that extra damage. But considering he's already hitting for 166 plus 129, I don't think it's a big deal. He should be able to right-click down Riki pretty easily once he grabs the Super Basher.
Yeah, he's also got a BKB of his own, so while you're, you know, it also goes the other way, where he doesn't really need that much more survivability because he's got his BKB. So just go for something that will help you secure kills. So from both perspectives, it makes sense. Of course, the BKB slowly becomes less effective once he uses it, but so far he hasn't. Here comes the backstab attempt, perhaps. Riki waiting on the high ground. The gem won't help you to see that, but he catches out Calculus. Remember, there's a Scythe device. Not able to use it in time. Split Earth lands on NKZ. Calculus shackled to a tree. Oh, that looks real bad. No Cloud from Balsam because he was silenced by the Static Storm. Now Aidsy retreating desperately. The Ghost Scepter going to keep him alive for the moment, and it looks like finally it's going to be Rubik puffing it out of there, desperately trying to survive. Ultimate Orb up on him, wants to Scythe device, but it looks like he might drop anyway. Blink in, Scream, and now Shadow Strike. Glimpse back in. This is a dead Rubik. That's 3 heroes dead. Did it just expire on the AM? I believe it did. But they can probably push anyway.
Yep, if we check out the Roshan clock, 6 minutes. All gone. Biggest play that was made in that team fight was the ulti on Invoker that also caught the Riki Maru. Took out about 70% of his HP, then he popped BKB afterwards. Queen Pain goes in, actually eats a stun from Leshrac. There is some damage being done. Lightning as well, maybe, from the Leshrac. Hasn't been cast yet, but he runs in, takes out a hero. It's going to be Queen Pain getting killed. Did they pick up the gem, or did they just kill it? The gem is actually on left track now, so they did snag that. Might be able to hex on Sock, but even still, they're all spreading out and running away. Is it going to be Windrunner at least? Okay, here comes the Diffusal Blade. Hex maybe, as he still hasn't used it's on cooldown, I'm sorry. Goes after Windrunner, but Tornado, it's going to catch him. This could be Windrunner's death right here. A couple right clicks from Anti-Mage. Actually, Anti-Mage shows up, wants to kill in Calculus. Ricky's not really sure what to do. He's changing targets a little bit. Jumps on Illusion, forced to the low ground. Another Smoke Cloud, and Windrunner is going to get killed by this. Nice play there, but they need to get out of here. Anti-Mage is just too scary to deal with.
You can just see Sockshka perched on the high ground. He had blinked there for a while. He was, do I go in? Do you want to die? Are you going to come anywhere near me? Now he wants to give chase. He sees Calculus. Shark with blood in the water. Trying to get that scent, but now it's a mistake, and he's caught out of position. Cold Snap, he's got the BKB, will pop it now, but he may die to these right clicks. I think he just turned around in man mode, or maybe not. It's only Riki to bring him down. Big kill, though, and now Disruptor as well. All of a sudden, 4 heroes dead. Really greedy play. Beautiful sight device, and that's why you need that item. With it, you can shut down even the hardest of carries. Correct timing there, plus the chainsaw with the Cold Snap afterwards, as well as some greed from AM. He could have BKB'd and just ran away. But what do you know? He buys back, and, well, he's an AM with the Battle Fury, so he's almost got his Abyssal Blade after the buyback.
Yeah, I really loved the play that Enchantress made there. She actually force-staffed the Riki, which pushed him away from the hero who's attacking, which gave Anti-Mage an extra second or two. He did still die, but he was able to get his BKB off and try to make some plays happen, which involved killing Invoker, apparently, and Shadow Demon also died in that little skirmish, so that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, Shadow Demon kind of went man mode there, but I think it was also one of these things where it's like, if you really want to fight me, then you're dying for that, and I'm okay with giving up a Shadow Demon in exchange for an Anti-Mage at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's a pretty good trade. Level 25 Anti-Mage with, 21,000 gold worth of items versus a, 3,000 net worth Shadow Demon. He's pretty good.
He's literally worth 7 of him. Yeah, I'll take that trade any day.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Thunmail back in the jungle, trying to finish his Aghanim Scepter, but at this point I think he's just content with being moderately tanky here. Queen of Pain also going Sheep Stick, but about 1,300 away, and I don't really expect her... I don't think they really need to wait for Queen of Pain to finish that. Windrunner as well has very great items. Pipe of Insight, she disassembled her Tranquil Boots, I believe, to make all these, so she's kind of like the walking mech and heal target. Doesn't have that much mana, though, and I think she will have mana problems in a long engaged fight, but as long as she can get the pipe off... Here comes the smoke, actually, to going on the Anti-Mage. Here comes the Hex. Oh, he mantas in time. BKB, oh, terrible. Still not looking good for MYM. They use the ulti at least on the Anti-Mage, but oh, that Shackle on 2. There's the ulti on top of the Riki. He's down to 500 HP. Tornado finally trying to salvage something, but Gem is down, and Atsy's taking some right clicks, and those illusions are crushing as he uses Ghost Scepter. Give him a second. There's the Dagon bonus damage there, and we see tons of blinking from the Rubik to try to get out. They had to get the Shack. I don't know what was wrong. They needed to hex the Anti-Mage, but he manted and BKB'd.
Literally, the game turns on that, because if he dies there, he's already used his buyback. He's dead for probably, is it 90 seconds at this point? I believe it is. Dead for ages. All you need was the Hex, and I think you bring him down, or at least bring him low enough that he's not fighting, he's running. But because of that, the fight goes the other way. It's now only 3 heroes alive. They're going to get all the lanes pushed in right before Roshan spawns, if they don't claim Rex. One of those things where it's just a split second that could end up deciding the game. You can't really fault them. It's very difficult to land the Sight Device in that situation that quickly, but you need to land it there. And, well, they're thinking about high ground. I don't know if it's worth the risk. Again, Sockshka, still no buyback on him. And if Shakira ends up losing a couple here, well, all of a sudden, they're the ones who give up on Aegis, and maybe Rax as well. Tough decision.
Interesting double sentry. I don't know if this is on purpose or not. I'm going to guess no, but they hypothetically could use it. Is that a blink forward? Actually, he does try to steal something. He grabs a power shot, actually. Power shot on the Rubik. He gets forced forward, pulls up the Disruptor. There's the pipe as well. BKB on the Anti-Mage, but he did get hit with the Deafening Blast first. That's a huge play. Stops the attacking for a lot of time. Balsam, there's the Greater Basher in the right clicks. He is taking a lot of hits. Another Bash goes through, and he does get picked up. Atsy very low as well. And Thon Mayo is looking to clean up, wants to grab a Shadow Demon and a Leshrac, which she does. A couple illusions hitting. That's 3 dead heroes from MYM. There's not much left over.
You know, it should also be mentioned that his BKB has been a pretty high duration throughout most of these fights, and if it was just a few, if it had been used once or twice more at this point in the game, then it ends and you sight them, maybe another hero lives. Everything just slightly going Shakira's way, and, you know, the Deafening Blast, like you said, was big, not big enough. They blink it on Rubik. This should be another easy kill. AM with the Super Basher, just absolutely gargantuan at this point. Ghost walk out, but that's fine. They're going to claim Rax off of this, and then probably head straight to the Roshan pit. No buyback on the Riki, or I'm sure we'd be seeing it. Literally nobody has buyback right now. And another Deafening Blast, further stalling out this push. That's going to be one lane of Rex. In fact, they have so much damage, and they have about 20 seconds. Could go for 2, but the safe play is Roshan, and it looks like that's what they're interested in.
Yeah, they're at a pretty large advantage at this point, though. If you look at the difference in gold, 15k for the Radiant team, and EXP is 20k, even higher. He actually blinks in, pops his Super Bastion, picks off the Rubik. That's one of the cool things about Abyssal Blade with Anti-Mage, is you're talking a blink 2-second disable, might as well be a blink hex, relatively. I think he's going to go Butterfly, I dare say, next. It's Butterfly or Heart, that's pretty much his decision-making. His HP could be higher, but if you look at the damage from MYM, it's most of the damage output is going to come from the Riki. So I think a Butterfly would be completely doable. Though it does make your illusions very good. Blink actually going to the high ground. Queen of Pain has the BKB. Anti-Mage goes in. Manta as well. Calculus running away. Leshrac just trying to kill these illusions as fast as possible. But the Hex, or the Shackles, sorry, Calculus. Smoke Cloud as well on Balsam, and once again, just getting right-click through his BKB. They really don't care that much. He goes Invis, though. There's a sentry place. They might be able to get him now. Impetus damage pulls it off. Nice play by Theneno.
You know, I was going to say, well, Sockshka might just be wanting to pick up the Aegis and make sure that he has money for buyback, but after that fight, pick up the Aegis and you probably still have money for your next item as well. Or just give it to an ally, pick up the next item, part of the next item, maybe the Eagle Horn and still buyback. So either way, Shakira, another one fight, Rubik dead for still 8 more seconds. They really needed him in that fight. They also really needed him to complete the Scythe of Vice this game. At one point, he had about 2,200 gold and the Ultimate Orb. Then he died quite a few times since then, and he's just never really recovered. That was about 5 or 6 minutes ago. With double Scythe, I think these fights go a lot differently as well. Just slowly but surely, the little decisions really adding up in this game in a big way. An AM now with 5.5k gold. Fat as all hell.
Yeah, it's pretty good gold farm. What's his GPM? 649 gold per minute. And I still would like to compare this to the Alchemist we saw yesterday, who ended up going 0-5-2 and had, like, what was it, 750 gold per minute at the end of the game. And Anti-Mage has only died twice. Like, Anti-Mage is a blink, Battle Fury, insane farmer, and Alchemist is still better. It's pretty insane.
Well,
like, this is what the max that we normally see.
Now, to be fair, the AM probably makes better use of those items at this point in the game. But
I would agree with that for sure.
That's a fair point. I also think it's cool how AM can't rebuy his BKB now. Because if he could, that's the obvious play at this point. But instead, he's going to go for Boots of Travel.
And still at 4,000 gold.
I mean, he could sell it and buy a new one, or not sell it, but he could just drop it and buy a new one. But that's a much bigger investment than selling and rebuying.
Yeah, I would agree. That almost makes it worth it at all points to just never rebuy your BKB. Leave it at 5 seconds for the rest of the game. And 3,900 is so much, so it's going to be half of that is gone forever if you do. Or the whole thing now is gone.
This Rubik walks right by the Queen of Pain, but she doesn't have backup and no reason to take any silly risks now. They're on the verge of claiming this one, so just gonna scout him out and then strut on by.
She's going to be forced to actually level up Shadow Strike pretty soon here, which is going to be fun to see.
Yeah, that was like me on Carrier Shaker yesterday. I was mad I couldn't get stats anymore. Had to level up Fissure.
Yeah, Fissure. Worst skill in the game.
Yeah, it's so bad. Never level up Fissure.
It's terrible. Leshrac grabbing farm bot. Gem BKB for him, 7 seconds on that. He's got decent HP. A lot of skill points all over the place, actually. He's going to be maxed out on skill points now from here on out, and just stats from there. So 5-man push top. They want to take the second rack, so this should secure the victory pretty much. Tornado's going to kill some of the creep wave. EMP as well, trying to grab some heroes. Anti-Mage actually does go in. Hex actually even on the Invoker, but a slight waste. They weren't able to follow up on that. So at least for 35 seconds, they're not going to have the Queen of Pain Hex, but either way, the tower's going to fall very shortly. Disruption to get some illusions in there. Again, nice Smoke Cloud, buys him a second telekinesis. That might actually get him. He does get killed off. He's going to respawn surely, though, with the Aegis. But that's what MYM needed. His BKB's popped, and now he's going to fight it. There it is. Super Basher on Calculus. Right-clicks a little bit. Shackle on him, and he's going to die for sure. Big ulti from Queen of Pain only catches the Shadow Demon as well. Dagon is used, and right-clicks. Leshrac is dead. Now it's 4 dead. Despite the perfect initiation, picking off the Anti-Mage, it just was not enough to win the team fight.
You know, even if he dies there, he still has Boots of Travel buyback, so I don't even know if that's enough, even if they kill him twice. But, you know, the chance of doing that, with the BKB's up, he's immortal. They don't have the damage to deal with him. And if Riki tries to trade hits, well, he gets bashed and he dies. So, this is a point in the game where there wasn't really much MYM could do. They had so many chances earlier, a lot of missed opportunities for me, and also Shakira just playing really well, not leaving as many openings as other teams might. Good decision making, in the right places at the right time. It was risky. MYM Slayer gets the Dagon, gets a gem. The other thing about the Dagon, it's not just that it's kind of, oh, they're going to blink in. They're going to kill off Nino. A couple more kills as the throne dies. And that should be it. The throne is dropping low, but they're going to get a few more. Can they complete the team wipe? Nope. The throne explodes. in a cloud of debris. You know, it's one of these things where if we think back to that point in the game, there was a Dagon pickup, there was a gem pickup. Queen of Pain is squishy at that point. She didn't have a BKB back then. And if they lose that gem immediately, I think this game gets a lot harder. But they made great use of it, and from there it was all smooth sailing.
Yeah, that tri lane really needed to go better for MYM, and it went okay, but they didn't end up taking a big advantage on the bot lane. Some slight mistakes made. So, congrats to Shakira takes the 1 game win. We'll be back in a second, guys, with game 2. My name's Purge, and I'm here with LD.